Okay, that was Spy Family, Season 1, Episode 16. What'd you think?
Poor Frankie.
Poor Frankie.
But also, like, they used Frankie's character to, again, reiterate the fact that this is a mission family and not a real family. And I'm like,
Two things on the Frankie front, initially. One, I am so glad that Lloyd could tell without needing the power to read a mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so glad to see Lloyd there for Frankie because, in my opinion, that is development on the path of hopefully one day Lloyd accepting an Anya and Yor as his actual family. Mm-hmm. I think that accepting anybody or being there for anybody really and not as just part of a mission is a amazing step to take, and I think that's what Lloyd did.
He acted on emotional attachment, which is what they were discussing they could not have with love interests. And obviously bringing that up as a theme is, I think that it would only be brought up if this was basically announcing to us that Lloyd is possibly already struggling with the idea of being emotionally attached to Anya and Yor. I feel like it seemed like he not only did he choose to go to Frankie, which shows he has care for Frankie, but he also probably saw it as a pro as well of, don't go have this amazing fun day with this family that you can't keep forever.
Yeah. I thought that Anya was gonna be on the left side of the shop.
Anya's just also at the bar and she sends him an apple juice and she just kind of looks at him.
I was gonna say apple juice, but I was like, nah, it's gonna be like a peanut, like a glass full of peanuts or something.
Yeah, like the bar with the drinks, you get a
It would have been the same exact setup. Like, it's like, oh, this awesome moment from Lloyd. Then the other side of the bar, it's like,
where did these peanuts come from? Oh, it was that lady over there.
And then you see like Anya giving like a cool look, you know?
Where she has those eyes.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
Could write itself.
We saw Lloyd
I was
make
about to
Anya
touch on
eyes
that.
in this episode.
It was amazing. You're right. It's the most related they have ever looked. It was great.
Does it almost make you feel like, you know how if you spend a lot of time with a person or with family, you end up having mannerisms that are the same. You maybe inside jokes that are similar to them. And Lloyd has never had a family and or close friends. So he has never kind of adapted or adopted any quirks or things that are related to other people.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of his have been basically just survival. You know, I need to be this type of personality. I need to look this certain way, all to do my job. And it just made me so happy to see that, because I was like, if you spend a lot of time with someone, and he spends so much time with Anya, his kid, he's starting to do little things like her.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. It makes you feel like a family without even saying it. Mm-hmm. They're doing a really good job of like the show not tell of that, because they're telling us the opposite of it. They're telling us that everything's the same, but
we're not getting emotionally attached.
Yeah.
We're still on a mission, you know. There's still separation there.
But you know, we're seeing it. We're seeing it happen. Like actual connect. Like, I don't know. I think we're seeing development.
I would identify this episode as a clear break in Lloyd's kind of Lloyd fulfilling his idea of what he needs to do for this mission.
To me, this episode was huge and massive for Yor, I think.
Oh, wow. Yes. I mean, the look on her face when she was saying that she didn't want Lloyd to divorce her.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that in her head, didn't she say at the time that this is like butchering it, but it alluded to the fact that it's no longer about wanting to be able to kill, that she wants to stay?
It was, I don't know if it was that heavy. I think it was more on, I think it was less severe of a statement, and it was more towards the, I don't need to just rely on this to feel fulfilled and happy.
Right. It was like a warming of the severity of both of them joined this marriage so that they could continue their ulterior motives. And then that's softening a little bit is the vibe I got.
I was kind of waiting for it the entire episode because like I was like, oh, Yuri's there. This is a great bit. It's funny. And then the second that they actually had a memory of their mom, the second I got like flung to the back of my chair, and I was like, oh my God. By the end of the episode, when Anya and Lloyd get to try it and have a similar expression to Yor and Yuri, it is going to mean so much. It is like, this is taken one of the characters within the secret world that we have grown accustomed to and taken them out of a secret world and made a real tangible physical connection outside of secrets and lies. And this is a real memory that Yor can share in, and comfort that she can share in by trying this food. And to see that happiness relived in front of her once again in two different people, you know, it was so beautiful. I was so happy. Those are real feelings. Like, they're actual real feelings.
The idea of cooking a recipe of a loved one has left behind, or replicating a taste from a memory of your childhood, is something very tangible and relatable to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And it's also very emotional and very comforting. And to have a character like Yor, who works as an assassin, she's basically lived her whole life killing people in order to make money to raise her kid brother, and then now continue to live this life that she now leads as Thorn Princess. Her parents were taken from her at a young age, and she has forgotten, or had forgotten,
and
didn't know how to cook because she couldn't figure out taste. Mm-hmm. And she couldn't remember what tasted good. What tastes good, you know? And to basically unlock that for her, and to be like, what... It's just so perfect of Camilla to be like, what is something your mom cooked you? And it really showed to have the older sibling not remember it, but the younger sibling's the one that brought it up, and then Yor remembered it. Yor's the one that should have had a more easy access to that memory.
No, you're right. I think that Yor probably had to block those kind of things away to be able to pick up the backpack that had Yuri in it, right?
Yeah, she had to maybe even emotionally kind of create basically cabinets in SpongeBob in her brain in order to raise Yuri and make money for them. She had to kind of separate herself from memories and emotions in order to act on kind of very violent ideas.
Yeah, this show continues and will continue to just fuck me up on so many levels, because I'll just start thinking about different things in the discussion and stuff like that, where I'm just continuously reminded that there is a real live little girl in animation form at the center of this story. And when in 20 years, when somebody asks Anya why she's so trash at cooking and to remember a dish, this is gonna be it. That her mother in front of her cooked her, and it was the first time her mother cooked her something that she enjoyed. And
the first time she could ever have access to a memory. That was really, really emotional and sad when Anya first kind of hinted at her real mother.
Yeah.
But this is the memory. This is the memory that she will recall when someone asks her, what is something that your mom cooked for you? I feel like slowly but surely, when someone asks her about her mom, this is the mom that she thinks of, is Yor. And even more adds to the terrifying reality of this mission possibly ending and the family separating.
Do you think that Yor would have ill feelings towards Lloyd if she knew everything?
No.
I think she would immediately. I don't know if it'd last. I think that it would be a big character flaw in somebody to adopt a kid and lie about a kid.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of it from that aspect. She'd probably want to keep Anya.
I think that she'd be pissed over the apparent or seemingly lack of consideration of her feelings going into the situation and then leaving it, right?
It was okay to mess with... she might even adopt the stance of, it's okay to mess with me, a grown woman.
It's okay to mess with yourself, put yourself in danger. But by putting a little kid at the heart of this operation
that you just got from an orphanage and give them a family and then take that family away, that's literally like one of the worst things I could think of that you could do to a kid.
Like, at the center of this fun story that I laugh and smile to is a very dark situation in reality where my favorite characters in the show aren't doing something right.
Yeah, he really... You're so right on that. Like, even if things did end up possibly, like, in a more happy tone by the end of it in terms of the family sticking together, Anya is aware of how Lloyd feels, to whatever extent her telepathy has given her. But to Yor, who lost her parents at a young age and raised her kid brother and is now raising this guy's daughter, to even start to think about the idea that this man walked into an orphanage, grabbed a kid with a traumatic past and raised them under false pretenses and was planning on getting rid of them.
Grabbed whichever kid was smartest.
For your goals and your plan, and now you're pushing that kid to study, and it's really dark.
Don't get me wrong, I am not outright saying...
We're not like Lloyd bashing.
No, I'm not outright saying that this was that living in a orphanage would have been a better life by any means. I'm just saying that somebody could make the argument that this is not awesome either, and I think that it's meant for us to notice, and I think it's meant for the characters to notice at some point. And I think and hope at some point the care and fear of danger that could happen to Anya will outweigh the fear of danger that will happen to the world.
Once the emotional attachment really sinks in for him, yeah. I think he'll realize how kind of even more so messed up the idea of falling for this family and then giving it up could be.
I think what will have to happen is that the unrational reality of the situation will have to circumvent and surpass the reality of the situation. It's not going to be a logical decision at the end of the day when Lloyd hopefully chooses to save 2 people and focus on that rather than countries and the millions of people within them. That's not a logical decision to make. It's something that possesses you further. And I think Lloyd, granted, we don't have any memories at the moment of Lloyd with a family in the past or anything like that Yuri does or Yor can connect to through Yuri.
Or from the handler.
No.
Would the handler have chosen to save maybe her person and her child, over the fate of everyone else?
Maybe. You see it firsthand. Oh, do you think the handler would have?
Yeah, I'm like the handler's an example of someone who lost their people, their child, and possibly their loved one from war. And would the handler choose if she was in Lloyd's position? If she had that,
I think an interesting question to what you're saying, though, is what would the handler do for Lloyd? If the handler was in a very similar situation, would the handler recognize that they were, see what has happened to them, and tell Lloyd to leave while he can? Or would they be bitter and say, no, this is what it takes, and have him stick to the plan because it's bigger than that?
I think I might have had more question marks about how the handler would handle Lloyd wanting to choose Anya and Yor. I might have had more I don't know, feelings that she might be bitter or not understand before we saw her interact with Anya.
Yeah.
When we saw that, I think it was last episode where she let Anya keep Bond.
Correct.
There was this warmness in her and this better take care of that child and enjoy her presence to Lloyd, that we got this energy from her that was so caring and so
it was like an ex-parent energy.
Yes. And I feel like it fits with being a possible good dynamic in terms of what would happen if Lloyd did start to try to figure out how he could have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
The best of both worlds.
In episode 6, I think that's it. In episode 6, I think in the discussion, you and I talked about if in any way it would be too stupid or on the nose if the handler was Anya's mom. Do you think that I still think that because they came face to face, but I don't know.
I mean, red and like reddish orange and pink aren't like too different from each other.
Not even that.
I know.
Like, yeah, I know. But like in all seriousness, like this show has like really like taken me for like by its like I don't know. It's this story has me in its grip because of a lot of like family shit, and like personal connections, and just, it resonates with me. And I think I don't think I'm able to distinguish narratively if something's good or not at this point for a lot of things, and I'm fearful that that's going to be the case. Like I'm unsettled.
Well, what we said was that this show teeters on a line between like tragedy and slice of life, happy, peaceful life. And I think that literally is war and not war, is peaceful family life, tragedy, and we're walking the line of it.
Yeah. I just think, okay, so this is how my brain's working right now, emotional shit aside, right? We had a very heavy revelation of what Anya had been through. We had a decent amount of specific information just regarding her. It's been, what episode are we on now? 16 episodes? Usually in a story that has things that are deep and revelations given to us throughout, as the story progresses, it is sprinkles are tossed in how vast the world is, how many potential characters it could go, how many different directions it could go. At the moment, that's the only direction of Anya's lineage in my mind. That's the only outlet for that, for those theories to be housed in. We don't know, in regards to Anya's whole backstory about how she has these powers, who her mother is, because we've gotten, hints at that. There are only so many options currently. I know we're only 16 episodes in, but it worries me that it would be either Desmond Donovan or the handler at this point. And I don't know if I could handle it being the handler.
At the moment, I just see the handler working as to create a parallel with Lloyd.
Yeah.
And working as an agent of continue this happy life that you've made and protect this happy life that you've made. Protect this little girl that is now your daughter. But honestly, I do think that the idea of Anya's birth mother is going to come back in some way, as I think it just feels like it should, if she was a possible kidnapped kid, experimented on, like all of that dark tragedy that happened to her as a child. I feel like there has to be some kind of more than just her barely remembering.
Well, that's the root of my thought here. I think that there has to be. I think that it's inevitable that we are going to learn more about her past because we learned a little bit about it and there are open ends. So I think it's inevitable to learn about it, but I don't know how long the show is. I don't know how long the series is.
Like, where in the manga does this fall so far?
I don't know, and I don't know how long in the future they plan on going. So maybe a season from now they'll start adding in those thoughts, but I get very anxious and sad thinking about if that was the case when I guess okay, so I had like a fading thought about it last episode because obviously we saw them, but I didn't want to get into it because like I was feeling weird about it. And then this episode pushed me to make me feel weirder because I saw Yor and Anya. And I think seeing Yor and Anya and seeing that potential moment of having like Anya connect to this mother in Yor, regardless of blood or whatever, the horrifying thought of a biological parent coming back into the situation and then maybe we even knowing them and how hurtful that could be, that made me have to say something this discussion. Like, I'm scared of that happening to Anya. Yeah. Also, Monica McDumbass should have chosen Frankie. Right?
Well, I mean, Lloyd had a good point. You know, in retrospect, Frankie wouldn't have been able to fully be a great boyfriend, a partner to that person because of the line of work he's in. And I think that it would not be fair for him to get into a really serious relationship if he wasn't able to fully be truthful and be himself and continue to be with that person in the long run. To lead them on would be horrible. And I'm not going to say like it's selfish to want to have a romance for yourself or a relationship for yourself, but this is the line of work that he chose, and to bring someone else into it is incredibly dangerous. And he would probably have to lie a lot to them. And no one wants to lie to people they love.
I thought that during the scene, like something was happening and I noticed it, but I realized now it was just the passage of time happening. During like the whole training arc that Frankie was going through, the person had left the seat on the left side of it.
Oh yeah, and then they showed like up in the sky and it turned to nighttime.
Well, this was before they turned it to nighttime, and I was like, oh, somebody was spying on them when they were whispering, you know. But
I like that it said they're actually whispering. I was like, they're yelling. What are you talking
about? Since they're so like spy centric and smart and skilled, I just imagine them doing all the mannerisms of yelling, and like even the facial expressions and movement. But the only thing that's coming out is like -6 decibel whispering, like
that only they can hear because they actually like put in hearing aids or something. Yeah,
or they made up a language that only those two
can
speak.
Yes, that's what it is.
The Freudian language, Franken. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time. And like personal connections, and just it resonates with me, and like personal connections, and just it resonates with me. It resonates with me.
It resonates with me.